Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 6th January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports. In today's video, I'm also going to generate pierced zones for monthly, weekly and daily time frames. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. The cost of the training is over $8,000. We are completely providing a free training. You can access all the training lessons at our NeoStock homepage. You just click on the tab post. Some of you might be seeing the tab community. Click on the tab. You get access to our free training course. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course YouTube playlist. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time we release a new video, we are providing an update in the channel. Okay, now let's get into the report generation. So let's start with the half-yearly time frame. Stocks near half-yearly demand zone. No stocks are available. Stocks near half-yearly supply zone also mostly may not be available. No stocks in half-yearly time frame. And quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly demand zone, 2 stocks are filtered. I'm giving you only few seconds time. I request you pause the video, study the report and then you can proceed further. Those who are not aware of this report structure, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video I have explained all the columns, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. 10 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone, 3 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, let us look for pierced zones. We have different categories of the pierced zones. Price closed inside the pierced supply zones, pierced demand zones. But here by using these filters we won't get all the stocks. If you want to know all the stocks, I'm disabled all these filters, signal type. Let me go to pierced count. Here we have a pierced count. In the pierced count at monthly time frame, I am setting minimum value 1. Maximum value we will keep a big value, some 100. But you need to apply this filter to demand zones because you have to. We want pierced monthly demand zones we want. So let me filter the stocks. You got 17 stocks. All these are all pierced zones. Always look into the pierced count, PIE. Where is that? Here. The column PIE, pierced count. Now you look into the demand zones. Some of these monthly demand zones are pierced. All green color zones you need to look for. Indus Bank pierced 2 times. Here Kotak Bank pierced 3 times monthly zone. This one SRF pierced 2 times. So I'm talking about monthly demand zones that are pierced. Similarly, let us look for monthly supply zones. Now earlier demand zones, now I am changing the entry zone to supply zone, and whatever the pierced count we already set up earlier, that is there. Now let me filter. We got 10 pierced monthly supply zones. Some are closed inside some are near the supply zone. Some are closed inside the supply zone. Inside the supply zone, they are the nearest to the current supply zone. So that means easily these zones will reach the traps. Now you need to look for the supply zones only in the pierced count. The red color zones are supply zones in this report. Okay, this is about pierced zones. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone, and these monthly demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at monthly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So we don't want pierced zones. These are the stocks closed inside the monthly demand zone. That's why you look into the signal type. Inside the demand zone, all these things will show you inside the demand zone. I'm scrolling the list down. Any high liquidity zones, you will see the status inside TCP demand zone, inside support demand zone. Inside demand zone means they are not high liquidity. At present they are not. Maybe future they may be changed to high liquidity. Okay, total 29 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on the EMA Confluence. Monthly demand zone with monthly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence filter, at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. But EMA Confluence sideways trend, that does not add any extra advantage. That's why we need to eliminate the sideways trend. For that I am selecting up or down. So now let's filter the stocks. Now 18 stocks are filtered. These 18 demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence, and current price closed inside the demand zone. Okay, next, for monthly time frame, the supply zones, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. Let me remove these trend filter and EMA filter. Now let's filter. We got 2 stocks. Currently price closed in these 2 monthly supply zones. Let's verify any of these supply zones are having EMA Confluence. The EMA Confluence monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. None of those stocks are having EMA. Fine. So this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Let us find the stocks near weekly demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. 2 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, and let me remove this filter, signal type, and zone should be demand zone. Weekly demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 1, maximum value some 100, big number. Generally, these many times a zone won't be pierced. Rarely you see double digit in pierced zones. Okay. So we got a big list. First 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Further scrolling the list down. So total 39 weekly zones are pierced zones we have. Okay. Next, I am selecting supply zone, the pierced supply zone. Now all these supply zones are pierced. First 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 25 stocks, pierced supply zones are filtered. These are all pierced supply zones. Look into Yes Bank. Both the zones are pierced. That means at present prices are moving between the pierced zones for Yes Bank. Okay. Next, for weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. And these weekly demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at weekly time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So let's filter the stocks. We got a big list, first 17 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. $53 stocks are there. Currently price closed in the weekly demand zones. Imagine if all these weekly demand zones are violated, what will happen? Now immediately trend will be changed. Some of the trends are sideways, some are uptrend. Uptrend will be sideways, sideways trend will become downtrend. So these zones will decide the future of market movement. Okay. Next. Okay. Further, this list we have to reduce based on the weekly EMA Confluence, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. So it can be up or down. So now let's filter. We got around 20 stocks it seems. First 18 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Okay, next weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone, and these weekly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, and let us filter the stocks. We got 9 stocks. Currently price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Let's verify how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am selecting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks are filtered. These 4 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, and price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got a big list. First 16 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So 20 stocks are filtered. So let us identify high liquidity zones from this list, high liquidity demand zones. Adani Enterprises is having a high liquidity demand zone, a fresh demand zone. This is not valid because it is a pierced zone. But you know how to handle pierced zones. You already learned. You can apply those concepts. And National Aluminium is having a high liquidity zone, daily high liquidity zone. OFSS is having a high liquidity zone. Tata Communication is a pierced zone. So we identified 3 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay. Next, for daily time frame, stocks near daily supply zone. 6 stocks we got. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. JK Cement is there. That's it. We have only 1 stock, JK Cement. Okay, next. For daily time frame, let us identify pierced demand zones. So in the pierced count, at a daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value maybe 100. So we will get the pierced count in between. Let's filter. We got a very big list. Something wrong. Something I missed. Daily demand zone. Did I select daily time frame for pierced count? No. This is price motion. Daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 100. Okay, fine. Entry time frame is daily only, daily demand zones. What's wrong here? None of these zones are having pierced. So let me repeat freshly, let me do something wrong. Some mistake I might have done. So entry time frame is daily and entry zone should be demand zone. So pierced count, this is pierced count and daily time frame. I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 100. Let's filter. Again, my God, something is wrong. Daily time frame, did I made any mistake in my software? Because Nifty 50 is not pierced, but it is displaying. Nifty Bank is not pierced, it is displaying. Nifty Financial Services is not pierced, it is displaying. Many of these zones are not pierced. Maybe some error in the software related to Pierced count filter in daily time frame. Filter is perfect. Entry zone is demand zone. Zone pierced on daily time frame greater than 0, less than 100. How come all of a sudden? So total how many it is displayed? It displayed all the stocks. Is something wrong in my filter? It's working, no error is reported. What made? Should not behave like this. Daily time frame, entry zone, okay. But pierced count on daily time frame, minimum value 1, maximum value, let me say 99. Greater than. Now it's come down to 53. What is this? Strange. Earlier I added 100. It displayed all the values. Let me check again. Sorry for wasting your time, but something error is there. As an engineer, I have to identify that. Still it is displaying correct only. Very strange. What mistake I made? I don't know. But now software is working perfectly. Strange behavior. First time I have seen. But anyway, I will look into the recorded video. I will check these filters. If the filter is same, now perfectly it is displaying. Even 100 also. Okay, anyway, this is the look into all the demand zones, daily demand zones. I am scrolling the list down. Again scrolling the list down. Again scrolling the list. So total 53 pierced daily demand zones we are having. Okay, next daily time frame. The supply zones should not be pierced. Should be pierced. Supply zones. Let me filter. Now 33 stocks are filtered. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 33 stocks. Okay, next daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily demand zone. And these daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So first 15 stocks in the list. Price closed inside the demand zone. $64 stocks. Currently price closed inside the daily demand zone. Okay. Next, let us further filter with EMA Confluence. The EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and a trend on daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. See, now the list is come down to 14 stocks. Only 14. These 14 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, next, daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. In these daily supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. Currently price closed in this now let us identify how many of these zones are having EMA Confluence, these supply zones. In the EMA Confluence daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. 2 stocks are filtered. These 2 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. But sideways is there. You have to eliminate. That's why always I add the filter, but I forgot. Zone violation trend on daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Only 1 stock is filtered. Okay, this is about the daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. 13 stocks are filtered. Next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Let's identify high liquidity demand zones from this list. Alchem is a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. HCL Technologies, Loda, and Sonacoms. These 4 are having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones. Okay, next 75 minutes time frame. Stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Let's identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Cub is also having high liquidity demand zone. Sometimes you may get opportunities either side, sometimes. Next, Syngin. That's it. We have 2 high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. Syngin already gave 15 minutes entry for short-term investors. That is what we discussed in today's HLQ analysis. Hopefully tomorrow it will reach this target. Okay, next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. 2 stocks are filtered. Let's verify any of these 2 stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Both the stocks are having 75 minutes zone confluence. That means these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes zone. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. 14 stocks are filtered. Let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling this filter. We got 5 stocks. All these 5 supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. 13 stocks are filtered. So let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. 2 stocks are filtered. The two, second one is already pierced, no use with that. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got a big list. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. Let's identify how many of these supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 26, 14 stocks are filtered. Check, some of these supply zones might be pierced. This is the 10th one is pierced. Second one is pierced. Okay. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, let us generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with NIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zone. Pierced column for the pierced zones. Look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules to the remaining reports. Also, don't forget, I am giving you only few seconds time. Don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Demand zones are very few. I am scrolling the list down. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All are supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. Further scrolling the list down. Okay, this is about NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Changing the name to NIFTY Bank. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Because the demand zones are very few, I am scrolling the list down. Okay, this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. Monthly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily. Entry zone should be demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. These daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, I am setting minimum value. Actually, you land pierced zones, right? I think from now onwards, filtering these pierced zones may not be. Maybe you can't use them as a bullish trade setup, those zones, but they might be helping you in a different way. So that's why let me keep those zones. With pierced zones, you get a big list. But observe carefully. Some of these demand zones, see here, this is a pierced zone. Currently supporting bullish trade setup. That means it's not that zone you should look for. Any new order flows, any bear traps, bull traps. That way you should think. Hope you won't make mistakes or you won't blindly take these trades by ignoring these pierced zones. You have to use them for study purpose at this point of time. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 57 stocks are filtered. That includes pierced zones. Okay, now let us further filter these zones based on the high probability trade setup mechanisms. So first filter is LTF and ITF zone confluence. So in that zone, demand zone confluence, I think some mistake I made. Did I not? I did not. I'm sorry. Please ignore the report. I have to set zone achievement. I have to include minimum odd enhancer score. So in the pierced zone in the explanation, I forgot this point. You have to filter based on zone achievement and minimum odd enhancer score. Okay, now list is come down to 17 stocks. Still you have a pierced zone here, demand zone. And ZNFC is another one. That way you need to look into this column, okay? Okay, 17 stocks. That means remaining stocks are filtered because of not having zone achievement and are not having a minimum of 12 OE score. Okay, out of these 17, let us look for LTF and ITF demand zone confluence high probability set stocks. So in the demand zone confluence, let me filter based on daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence, that is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Now the list is come down to 14. Okay, within these 14, how many ITF zones we are having? Let us filter. So in the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, because the daily zone is part of weekly, so weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Now the list is come down to 10. See, it doesn't have any pierced zones in this list, the demand zones. Okay, these are all even more high probability because all these weekly demand zones. Did I made a mistake? Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. Yes, perfect. No issues. Correct. I thought I made a daily EMA confluence. So we have weekly zone with weekly EMA confluence. Perfect. So all these daily zones are part of weekly, and those weekly zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Okay, next let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. So removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we need to set 3 filters. In that, first filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, the daily zone is part of the weekly, both together part of the monthly zone. But this is a pierced zone. Okay, now let's verify out of these 2, how many are having monthly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. Let's filter. So one stock is filtered and it is a pierced zone. Check any new order flows institutions are created in this daily demand zone. Then you can't use for MIT trade setups. You can use it only for either WIT or DIT. Best thing is the short-term trading only. You plan the trades from the pierced zones. But manually you have to analyze the stocks. Please remember. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at a daily time frame, I am selecting bearish, no pierced filter, and selecting zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. 2 stocks are filtered. None of these supply zones are pierced. Let us verify these 2. Any of these stocks are having LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. In the supply zone confluence, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence filter is enabled. Oh, both the stocks are filtered. That means daily zone is part of the weekly zone. Let us verify any of these zones are having weekly EMA confluence, because weekly trend is down in both these stocks. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. So this stock Gujarat Gas is having, it is a high probability setup. That's why I already tested 3 times. Okay. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF. In those 2 stocks, without EMA filter earlier, 2 stocks are filtered. Both are having a LTF, ITF, HTF confluence or not, we will verify. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Third one weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all these 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, we don't have the zones. Fine. So none of them are having HTF confluence. Okay, next let us look for bullish trade setup, weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement, I am selecting VOZ. Minimum odd and enhanced score, I am selecting 12. No PRs to count, I set, because you learned the concept PRs to count. We got 10 stocks. I think none of these demand zones are pierced. Okay, out of these 10, how many are having ITF confluence? Let's verify. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 7 stocks are having ITF confluence. That means these 75 minute zones are part of daily zone. Now that daily zone, how many of those daily zones are having daily EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Only Bajaj Finance is having this daily EMA confluence. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, LTF, ITF confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence filter. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to select. First one is already enabled. Second one 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 7 stocks. All these 7 stocks, 75 zone is all these 75 minute zones are part of daily, both together part of weekly. And weekly trend is up in some of these stocks, sideways in 2 stocks. But uptrend stocks, how many are having weekly EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks because both are having a HTF trend as uptrend. So this is about bullish trade setup, weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. Let's filter the stocks. We got 15 stocks. Let's check any of these supply zones are pierced. It seems none of them. Anyway, you please look into them. I am seeing very fast. And out of these 15, how many supply zones are having ITF and LTF supply zone confluence? That is 75 minutes with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks. In all these 75 minute supply zones, 11 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks. Let's verify EMA confluence on daily time frame. So daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence, because 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone. Let's filter. We got 7 stocks. All these 7 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stock, because 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone and the daily zone is having daily EMA confluence, the supply zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly. I removed EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Third filter, second filter, 75 with weekly supply zone confluence, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got two stocks. These two are even more high probability setups, but unfortunately both are indices not listed in F&O. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 15 minutes I am selecting bullish, and the zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks, and none of these stocks are having pierced zones. Okay, out of these 6, how many are having LTF and ITF demand zone confluence? That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Let's verify. In the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 6 stocks. That means all these 15 minutes demand zones are part of 75 minutes demand zone. 75 minutes trend is up. Let us verify how many of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minute zone is part of 75 minute zone. So I am looking for 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So none of those stocks are having EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. I removed EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter is a 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In all these 4 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone, both together part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in these first 2 stocks. If any of these first 2 stocks are having EMA confluence, that is a daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup stocks, because HTF is a daily zone. So in the EMA confluence, a daily time frame, daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence, we got 2 stocks, and that first one is uptrend, second one ignore it, it is sideways. So first one is uptrend. It is a high probability setup, even more high probability trade setup. Okay, next, this is about bullish trade setup daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes, I am selecting bearish, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 15 stocks are filtered. Pierced zone. But remember, it is a these are all the 5-minute zones. Actually, these are the, maybe it's not right to select pierced zones for bullish, because entry time frames are daily. Okay, daily is okay, but 75 minutes and 15 minutes, they are not effective. Compare it to daily, weekly and monthly based bullish, traps. So that's why ignore the pierced zones. I made a mistake. From tomorrow onwards, I will set the filters. Daily is okay some extent, because daily is already useful. Daily you need not use a pierced filter, because they might be useful to you, pierced zones. 75 minutes, if they are high liquidity zones, they will be useful to you. High liquidity zone supports traps. But 15 minutes and 5 minutes entry zones, they are not effective, even if they are high liquidity zones. Traps will be mainly used in higher time frames like daily, weekly, monthly. 75 minutes only high liquidity zones. Okay. Anyway, only one zone, ignore that stock. Now let's filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Let's filter. Now 8 stocks. So in all these 8 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone, and 75-minute trend is down in all these stocks, ITF. So let's verify EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame. That is 75-minute supply zone with daily EMA Confluence. We got one stock. This is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup. Daily income trade, LTF, ITF and EMA Confluence, daily EMA Confluence for the 75 minutes, because 15-minute zone is part of the 75-minute zone in this stock. And that 75-minute zone is having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. So in the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 5 minutes with 15 minutes with daily supply zone confluence, 75 minutes with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 stocks are having LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Now let's verify how many out of these 2, how many are having daily EMA confluence in the daily zone. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Both the stocks are having daily EMA confluence, but ignore the first one, it is sideways trend. You can't use. Second one is valid. Okay. In the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list, indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.